This video is sponsored by Unusual Horror. To see the fully uncut version of this video, head over to patreon.com/Jonjo Lyons.
What's that like to live deliciously? Chaos reigns.
Please don't scream.
I said, don't you blame the movies. Movies don't create psychos. Movies make psychos more creative.
What's going on? My name is Jonjo Lyons, and today I'm here to present to you my review for Necromaniac, Schizophreniac 2. Written and directed by Ron Atkins, Necromaniac stars all of these lot. Deranged and drug-addled misogynistic lunatic Harry Russo suffers from painful flashbacks concerning the abuse he suffered from his parents as a kid. Accompanied by his ventriloquist dummy pal Rubberneck, Russo embarks on a brutal psychotic spree in Las Vegas in which he and murders old ladies, lesbian hitchhikers, and sleazy 2-bit whores. Meanwhile, 2 scummy cops try to nab Russo. Hello again. I think we can all agree that the last video covering Schizophreniac was a miserable time. Not for you, the people that had never seen it before apparently had a great time, and I also found out in the comments the film has something of a cult following. Why? No, the misery was mine, and by the time the film ended, I never wanted to see Harry Russo again. So why am I covering the sequel straight afterwards? I hate myself. And not like the way that people say they hate themselves. I hate myself. Also, in the last video, I said if that one did well, I'd do some proper research about this one, and, well, here it is. John, the guy who plays Harry, is apparently a really lovely guy and also obsessed with baseball. Not a bad artist either. And yeah, that's it. If I end up doing the third one, maybe I'll look into Ron Atkins, what he's high on, and whether or not I could get a hold of some. Oh, and spoilers, I found this movie painful to sit through, even more so than the first one. I don't think I've genuinely hated a character this much since August Underground. Let's just get it over with. But before we get into all of that, I just want to remind you, you can see this video completely uncut and early at patreon.com/Jonjo Lyons for as little as $2 a month. You also get access to the Discord and multiple full reviews that aren't on YouTube anymore, either because of copyright or because the director couldn't take a joke. We are also incredibly close to that mythical tattoo target, so if you sign up now, you can help contribute to my next awful life choice. You'd think by 36 I would have learned from my mistakes, but no. I asked for some more suggestions on the Patreon the other day, and I can't even repeat them here. They are bad. How can someone want to support you, but also hate you this much? The filthy Jonjo t-shirts are still in stock at last shirt on the left, so grab one now while they last, and the pitch video for my short film Better Anything is pretty much done. That's going to be the next upload to the main channel, hopefully on the 15th. In it, you'll see a proof of concept trailer, more details on the plot, and most importantly, you'll get to meet the super talented actor that's going to be playing Alice. No spoilers, but you have seen them on the channel before. It's all very exciting and absolutely doesn't make me want to vomit from anxiety every single time I think about it. But anyway, I'm in the mood to be genuinely disgusted again, so let's not waste any more time. Get ready to have fond memories of that time you were watching Schizophreniac. It's that bad. This is Necromaniac. The movie begins in a similar way to the first, as this woman gets in the shower and soaps herself up for a bit. And by the way, there's long periods of time here where the woman's just staring down at her own tits and smiling. I can tell she's a big fan. Elsewhere, we see this person taking a walk with their face obscured, leaving their identity a complete mystery to the audience. After watching the woman's entire shower routine, we cut to her laying on the sofa naked, now applying moisturizer. Is this normal behavior? When I get out of the shower, I'm straight into my Batman onesie. You're gonna catch a cold. We see the mystery person walking up the apartment block stairs as the woman creams her foot into oblivion. Then there's a knock at the door when we finally get our big reveal.
Who's there?
It's Parker with Avon.
Here's an update on how I feel about Harry, and I'm ashamed to say when I got to the end of the edit of the last video, I kinda came around to liking him, but within 10 seconds of him being back on screen, I hate the The woman opens the door and Harry attacks, throwing her down. As he does this, he screams she can thank Miss Parker for this, Miss Parker from the first film, and says she died a horrible death. He then strangles her when Rubberneck suddenly appears on the sofa out of nowhere. And if you're wondering, yes, the dialogue in the sequel was just as cleverly written and well thought out.
Come here, you dead.
Harry then turns to us and screams more heinous shit when we cut to the title card, then to him at his mother's grave in the worst Crow cosplay you've ever seen. This is slightly off topic, but why are they saving the Crow face paint for the third act in the new movie? Has Hollywood learned nothing from the Power Rangers reboot? I know bad choices in movie making shouldn't affect me emotionally, but that one really makes me sad. Anyway, we're not talking about the Crow. We're not talking about the Crow. Get over it, Jonjo. He tells her to look at what she's made him when we cut to a flashback of his mother using a bottle on him.
No! You ain't gonna get away with this!
This is super disturbing because it's supposed to be him as a kid, but also hilarious because it's being played by a grown man in a wig. Thank God they decided to go this way with the scene. The last film featured Harry strangling a kid using an actual kid, so I'm just glad that Ron has a line. He screams at his mother, telling her she isn't going to get away with this when she pulls his wig off and licks his bald head. Cut back to the grave as Harry asks his mother why she did this to him as the scene fades out. Then fades back in again.
Why'd you have to be a slut?
Then fades out again.
No!
Go on then, one more time.
Coming to get you, motherfucker! You're mine!
Is everyone having fun so far? Cut to Harry looking like he did at the end of part 1 and hopping into this balcony. He quietly opens the sliding door as we see Miss Parker doing laundry.
Yeah, your f***ing time has come, Miss Parker!
He then does to her what he does to everyone else he kills, and we get another monologue to camera about the same old shit.
Something wrong with me.
Spoilers. Cut to Harry popping Rubberneck in the car, then going for a piss, which he seems to have some trouble with. He then drives away screaming as we cut to...
F*** the world! In the ass, you motherfucker!
Cut to some time later as Harry runs out of gas and screams his lungs out at God. He collapses and pulls his shirt off when he's joined by the big fella himself, Jesus Christ.
No, can't be real Jesus.
He's here to tell Harry to change his ways or he'll burn in hell. Harry asks where he was when he had his horrible childhood, and Jesus tells him he's giving the murderer a second chance. Harry asks what Jesus cares about all the various slurs he can think of, and Jesus says they will be judged but not by him. Harry then threatens old Jimmy Neckbeard and gets his ass kicked.
Oh yeah, I'll shove that stickhead for you up your holy ass! Oh. 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 Jesus. Oh. Oh.
Well, would you look at that? I guess no one can claim they didn't do anything new with the sequel. And that's Ron Atkins, by the way. Ron Atkins cast himself as Jesus. For my film, I'm going to cast myself as someone who's in shape, has friends, and a lovely personality. And a massive... Cut to Harry screaming more obscenities into the sky when we fade out once more and meet these two lovely ladies of the night. They try to flag down a ride but are unsuccessful when we cut to Harry screaming in the car and the women now at a payphone. Harry spots them and pulls up, telling Rubberneck they're gonna have fun with them. He offers the women a ride and they jump in before quickly accepting an invitation to get high. The girls have a kiss and ask again where they're going when they spot Harry's creepy doll companion. They ask Harry if he's got kids taking the piss when he asks if they have tip milk and commence the sucking. They finally park and light up when the girls start to feel dizzy. He then attacks both women, knocks them out, and welcomes them to his party.
Yeah, oh, I know what the f you want. I'm gonna f you in your ass. Sweet dreams.
This guy, what is his deal, man? Oh, yeah, the bottle thing. Cut to the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police as the chief orders a couple of cops in. He asks what they know about the Harry Russo case, and Hayes says he killed both of his parents. His partner Gail reminds him that Harry was abused, but Hayes couldn't give less of a f***.
Well, that doesn't matter. Maybe if we take our time with this guy, we can find out that there's something really wrong with him and get him the help he needs.
Hey, this guy. What is this, an episode of Dragnet? I'm tired of this Mickey Mouse shit. What the f***? Now, this is my goddamn office.
The chief then says he's putting them both on the case and kicks them out of his office. It's also worth noting that Hayes is played by Nick Palumbo, writer and director of Nutbag and Murder Set Pieces, which is ironic given in the last video the connection I made between that film and Nutbag. Outside, Gale asks Hayes why he's acting so uptight, and it's revealed he's been after Russo for a long time. They get in the car and drive off when we cut to Harry pulling up in his now empty car. Wait, what happened to those girls? Did we not get to see the double murder? Lame. He heads inside this adult entertainment centre, where we watch him watch spicy movies and knock one out as he talks to performers. Then he gets in his car and drives away. Was that scene necessary? Did we learn anything new about the character? Did it enrich the narrative in any way? Cut to the cops whinging and moaning about their opposing political ideologies and dropping a lot of M-bombs when they pull up to grab some donuts. Inside, Hayes continues to be super racist.
You know, I can tell you in the car, I have to talk about my wife. You still go on about it? You see that? With that, all right? You see that right there? You see that? See that? Come here. You see that? Is that what your wife's pussy looks like?
Gale heads outside where he gets a call about a Harry sighting and tells Hayes the good news when we cut to Harry screaming at Rubberneck and blaming him for their current situation. Rubberneck apparently suggests the next target, although we don't hear it, and Harry sets off after someone named Otis. Harry then gets out at a payphone and tries to call Otis, telling him he'll be there in 5 minutes.
Hey, Otis! It's Harry! I'll be there in 5 minutes, you blood son of a...
Cut to Harry in the bathroom doing his makeup as he spouts the same hateful bullshit as usual.
Me! Everybody!
I think I like his hair better dark, if I'm honest. Cut to Harry banging on this door and confronting Otis. It's so frustrating, man. It's like they're kids who literally just learned how to swear. Harry convinces Otis to let him stay the night to avoid the cops, and his friend lets him in. Inside, the two of them keep screaming at each other until Otis gives Harry some drugs, then asks him how many people he's killed. Harry shoots up and says he doesn't care as everyone is shit anyway. Otis says Harry's gotta hide his car if he's gonna stay here, and the nutcase agrees, saying he has a surprise for him.
Oh, there's that surprise I was telling you about. Ha! Say hello to Dyke and Hooah.
You know what? It's kind of cool they tried to get the Tarantino trunk shot there. They failed because the angle's completely wrong, but the fact they tried is reassuring. Back with the chief, he tells Hayes his partner Gale requested a transfer, so now he's going to team him up with Baxter. Baxter enters and takes a seat as Hayes complains some more.
I'm not gonna deal with you. Look at this guy, he's pulling out switchblades in your office.
What the you talking about? Last time you was in my office, you pulled out a goddamn gun.
Hey, we're not talking about me right now. We're talking about you, and we're talking about this.
You have a problem with me?
Yes, I do have a
Sit
problem.
the down. This is my office.
Let's get something straight, Hayes, all right? First of all, I am not a fuck.
When all the shouting and standing up and sitting down is over with, the chief tells them to check out Harry's mother's grave and sends them on their way. Cut to Harry running down the road and screaming when he's confronted by himself naked and in a wig.
Who the f*** did you think it was? Your mother?
We then get this montage ending with Harry knocking one out as this lady does a little dance. Cut to Otis waking Harry up, asking him how long he's gonna stay and what he's gonna do with the girls. Harry says he's gonna make a snuff film, but when Otis doesn't exactly get on board with the idea, an epic fight scene breaks out. Did The Matrix come out before or after this movie? Wow, before. Must be a coincidence. Harry gets the upper hand and forces Otis into his torture room before knocking him out. He then checks on his thumb wound, which I'm shocked they didn't forget about between movies. Harry then sews his thumb back on in an impressively effective shot, at least for this movie. After he's done, we see it works fine now, which is hilarious. I'm not a doctor, but what? Cut to some bubbling drugs and Harry shooting up once again. We then get another rant to camera Kanye would be proud of, and then cut to him driving again. He says he needs money, so jumps this guy, immediately failing. Then there's more shouting until Harry shoots the guy to death and steals his money. He He then runs, opting to not have sex with the corpse, kills someone else and gets the f*** out of there. Cut to more ranting in the car, which has always been annoying but is now really grating and hard to sit through. He tells Rubberneck to look out for a payphone as that's going to get him a camera somehow when we cut to the news. And it looks like they've updated their graphics since the last movie, which is nice. Here this fella introduces reporter on the scene Kim as she tells us about poor Miss Parker's death.
No, Dave, but he was seen a while ago between 8 and 9.
Hey, man, everything's cool, man.
We're gonna f*** camera right now!
Hey!
Motherfucker, you broke the camera!
So, did he go all the way home to do this? I thought he was on the run. Was he just on the other side of town? How did he know the film crew were there? What the f*** is going on? At least we get a very brief shot of the first good-looking gore effect in both movies, not including the thumb.
I know I'm not to you, Dave, you f***.
Cut to more inconsequential screaming when Harry decides to get some tacos. Here is another example of the filmmaker f***ing with fast food workers, and it pisses me off now just as much as it did then.
Hi, welcome to Otago. My name is Valeria. Do you like to try the combo burrito tonight?
No, I don't. I know what I want. Let me get one taco. Hard like my
Also, we actually get to hear the director speak in this shot when Harry asks how much the taco is.
I want you all these things. 39.
Not gonna cut that, Ron? Good lord. Anyway, he gets his taco and does this.
This f***ing taco sucks!
I just hate it so much. Awful behaviour. Cut to Harry reciting every slur under the sun and doing a helicopter before having a Buffalo Bill dance.
You like that? I'm dancing for you. You like that? I'm the girl.
Cut to this fella at the payphone when Harry pulls up. It took me a second, but this guy is the guy with the stereo from the first movie that Harry chased off. By sheer luck, he happens to have a camera and recognises Harry, so tries to book it out of there, but is chased down and shot to death.
I'm taking that f***ing camera!
Hey, man.
You sucker! Die, face! Yeah!
Harry jumps back in the car, happy he can now make his documentary, and speeds off. Cut to him arriving home and trying to feed one of the girls donuts, which she spits back in his face. Then the women scream, he screams at them, and this goes on for a bit until he leaves to answer the phone, which continues to ring even after he picks it up.
Yeah.
The mysterious person on the other end has apparently been calling for a while and knows who Harry and Rubberneck are. Harry demands to know who he is, and the man says he's a ghost from the past and he's coming to kill Harry's ass. Harry says goodbye in the only way he can.
You ain't gonna have any trouble finding me, cause I'm gonna be looking for your ass all night, you sucker. Now go your mother some more, that needs it.
As we cut to him in the bathroom moaning about Steven Spielberg of all people. He then shoots up cum, I think, and enjoys it on the floor for a bit before screaming at a picture of Elvis.
Who the f*** do you think you are? I'm the king, baby!
I cannot tell you how truly irritated and bored by this movie I am. It's just the same scene over and over again.
Why? No, why?
Cut to the girls crying when Harry enters ready to shoot. In more ways than one. He realises one of them has escaped and we see her hiding behind a curtain. He immediately finds her in another room, even though her escaping from the other room doesn't make sense, and laughs in her face before knocking her out and dragging her back. So another pointless moment with no tension. Cool. Harry then grabs Rubberneck, starts his camera and takes a seat.
Hi, my name's Harry Russo, the maker of this film. And what you're about to see is going to be very brutal and real.
He says he's going to start with Otis and goes to grab him when another fight breaks out.
Oh. Oh.
He then pops the man down and goes to grab some refreshments before returning to kill Otis. First with a rock.
Ready, Otis?
And then with the door. Done with him, Harry moves on to the knocked out girl and gets her to dance. He quickly gets tired of that and suffocates the girl as smoke billows out from behind her friend. He then smashes her face in with a rock in a pretty cool and creative no-budget effect.
Yeah!
Well, I mean, if they shot it in a way where it looked at all like The Rock was connecting with the woman's face, then that'd be cool. Good try, though. As all of this is going on, the friend breathes directly into camera while Ron messes with filters. Harry enters the room again, which is now filled with so much smoke there must be a fire going on somewhere. He cuts the girl loose, saying it's time for her to play Disco Fever and makes her dance for him. She strips off and we get an Atkins special zoom right up into her ham sandwich. Done with that, he chucks her in the chair and drills her hand into the armrest, then does his thing with the dead girl. Harry then goes back to Chair Girl and digs her eyeball out with another interesting blood effect.
Oh, yeah, I got you right.
I love how the blood flying at Harry's face comes from a different direction. They did well on the eye, though. The gore in this movie is light years ahead of the original. He then has sex with the socket Serbian film style. And stabs her in the head.
Die, you f***ing
While his is in her eye socket, which, I don't know about you, but sounds kind of risky to me. He finally eats the brain and has further relations with her when we cut to Wooden Jesus.
Wooden Jesus! Jesus, every time I turn around, you're there. Why are you doing this to me? Why is this happening?
11 minutes, guys. 11 minutes left. Harry finally leaves, now looking like the Crow, and drives off. At an intersection, he screams at a homeless guy who, knowing Ron, was probably a real homeless guy. Cut to some time later as Harry is having a driving while thinking about the Miss Parker murder. We see he's suddenly stopped as this woman pulls up behind him and starts shouting rather than going around.
Come on, you f***ing asshole! This is not a four-way f***ing stoplight! It's a stop sign! Move that f***ing piece of shit now!
Again, no second take, Ron? Not even one for safety? Who the f*** do you think you are, Clint Eastwood? Harry then throws a handful of cum at the woman's car window and starts licking it off.
What is that f***ing stuff on my f***ing window? Did you come all over my window, you f***ing jerk off?
So grim and miserable. Harry pulls out a gun and makes the woman roll down her window so he can wipe shit on her face. She throws up as we cut to the cops who, honestly, I completely forgot about. Harry watches the pair argue, then runs up, decapitates Hayes with the car hood, then holds Baxter at gunpoint. He says he cut the cop's brother's off, and I'm only just realizing now it's the same actor who played the drunk in the first movie. That's kind of cool. Wish he was in it for more than 2 scenes. It's revealed he's the one that's been calling Harry, but how he knew he was at Otis's or why he didn't just arrest him there is anyone's guess. They scream at each other for a bit when Harry finally shoots the cop to death.
Yeah! Motherfucker!
Harry celebrates as we cut to him naked at his mother's grave, you guessed it, screaming his head off. Harry then f***s the grave, which is where they stole the idea for Saltburn from, when the mother reaches out of the ground and begins to strangle him.
Mother!
Cut to Harry screaming on the strip, terrifying random members of the public when the film finally comes to an end. The end! Well, I hated it. No, despised it. Honestly, f*** that guy. F*** him right in the ear. Necromaniac is a film that somehow ups the ante on the most unlikable you've ever met, while also introducing new elements such as a deeper look at Harry's origins and an obsession with the N-word. I hate it. The story is simple enough, with us once again following Harry as he goes about his day murdering and screaming into camera. If I absolutely had to pay this movie a compliment, it's that I love how seamless the continuation of the story from the first movie is here. We get returning characters and even a revenge storyline with the drunk's brother being a cop hunting Harry. Now, of course, all of this is wasted and comes to nothing, but much like the Tarantino trunk shot, they gave it a go and you gotta commend them for that. Aside from that, it's just the same. Oh, and apparently Harry learned what racism is between the first and second movie because god damn it, does that motherfucker love slurs. It's just awful, ugly, repugnant. In terms of characters, again, it's just Harry being the entire time. As I said, we do get the addition of the cops supposedly hunting Harry, but they're in like 2 or 3 scenes and completely forgotten about in the third act until they pop up again out of uniform for some reason. Couldn't rent the costumes that day, Ron. What the f is going on? Onto the gore, and I was pleasantly surprised here. The gore in part 1 was shockingly bad, with the worst offender being that styrofoam head smash, and I was expecting more of the same. Luckily, in the years between productions, Ron learned a thing or two, with the severed thumb wound and eye removal looking pretty damn good in comparison. It's still terrible, but gives me hope for Ron Run's later films. Presentation-wise, it's pure dog. Terrible sound and editing with those ugly filters slapped on top. At least the news had a better graphic. All in all, Necromaniac is not only one of the worst films I've ever seen, but probably my all-time most hated cinematic experience. The main character is awful and not in an entertaining way, and the film is mind-numbingly boring. I hate it, and I'm shocked this series has a cult following. If I ever see Harry again, it would be too soon. So that was my review for Necromaniac. What do you lot think? Part of me wants to apologise, but it's not my fault, so you, I guess. I will cover the third one at some point, but don't expect it soon. I need a bit of space between me and Harry Russo. At least the gore was good, the eye removal and brain eating being a highlight. Speaking of which, if you want to see Harry smash that woman's face in completely uncut and early, head over to patreon.com/Jonjo Lyons. There you can find the uncut version of this review, plus others with more stuff being added all the time. We got the uncut reviews, Patreon exclusive reviews, / comic breakdowns, and the Discord. And all that can be yours for as little as $2 a month. You can pledge more, I really appreciate it, but maybe save that money for when the Better Anything fundraiser starts this month. I'm gonna make a movie and I need your help. And if you want to get your hands on this sick Song of Solomon t-shirt, head over to Unusual Horror. Unusual Horror is a clothing company specializing in licensed extreme horror merch, as well as band collabs and dope original designs. And if you use the promo code Jonjo, you get 10% off your order. That's promo code Jonjo at store.unusualhorror.com. So that's it for another week. Like the video, leave a comment, and click subscribe if you haven't already. My name's Jonjo Lyons, and please, I'm begging you, in the third movie, can we see some sort of consequence for Harry's actions? What sort of message are you trying to push here, Ron? We won't, will we? Harry Russo never dies.